Hello, all. In today's session, we are going to discuss the next topic of public speaking that is called as presentation skills. In the previous session, I introduced you to what is public speaking, the importance of public speaking, and few tips to enhance public speaking skills. In today's session, we are going to discuss more about public speaking, which is related to presentations. What is presentation? What is how to acquire presentation skills? Moving ahead, why do we need presentation skills? Why is presentation skills important for us? Presentation skills is important to illustrate the use of technology in dispensation of knowledge. We all have knowledge. We all have gained knowledge. And we how do we present our knowledge to someone about something? Knowledge, as in you can use it for informing something to someone or illustrating something to someone. With the use of technology, the knowledge that we have can be used to inform people about something. To provide techniques for preparing and delivering a presentation in a well organized structure. So we use different techniques to prepare and deliver presentations in a well organized structure. What is the purpose of presentation? The purpose of presentation could be advocacy or persuasion, training, teaching and learning, information dispensation, or assessment. So, uh, going to the first purpose of presentation, that is advocacy or persuasion. It can be either advocacy is to talk to someone, to inform something, to inculcate something in someone, and persuasion, as we know, is to persuade the audience, to convince the audience. So it can either be for the purpose of informing a group of people or to persuade a group of people. And the next one is training. Training is a very common area where presentations are used. Presentation can be used for training purposes, especially in organizations, for the purpose of training new employees, or for the purpose of training people for a new project, or for any other purpose related to training. Presentations can be used. In the field of education, presentations are very commonly used for the purpose of teaching, because presentation acts as a boosting agent to capture the interest of the students, and it helps the students in understanding better. So teachers use it as a methodology for teaching, and students find it easy to learn. Therefore, presentations are very popular in the field of education. Sharing of information, information dispensation. You want to share information with people, you can use presentation as a form of informing people about something. It could be about a new product, it could be about a new service that has been launched, or about a place that you visited. You can have a presentation on that. So, informing people about anything, to discuss about anything, any piece of information that you want to share, you can use presentations. Next is assessments. To assess people, to understand the level of their understanding, also, presentations can be used. Questions, interactions can be made to assess their level of understanding in the process of presentation. So these are the various purposes of presentations. The objectives of presentations are as follows. Presentations can be used for selling something, selling a product, selling a service. Like, for example, to sell the newly constructed villas. A builder could use a prepare a presentation and exhibit it to interested audience to sell the newly constructed villas. So it could be used for the purpose of selling some product or selling some service. Next is instructing. Instructions can be given, demonstrations can be made, instructions can be given through presentations. To conduct an experiment, you can give a demonstration through a presentation. You can give a set of instructions about how to go from one place to another through a presentation. So, instruction is another purpose of presentation. Thirdly, introducing something. As I told you, if you want to introduce something new to your audience, to the people, you can use presentations. Probably a new policy that has been introduced in your organization and you want to convey that policy to your employees, you can use presentation to show them how the new policy is going to be implemented in the organization and how the new policy has been made in the best interest of the employees of the organization. So that is called as introducing. To introduce a product, to introduce a service, to introduce a policy, to introduce a person. A presentation could be made even to introduce a person to your company, to an organization. So introducing is one of the objectives of presentation. Next thing is image making. A lot of image building, a lot of PR can be established by, uh, public relation can be established by the use of presentations. How do you build the image of oneself or your organization? So, by presenting all these things through a presentation, how do you present yourself or how do you present the company, present the organization? So that creates a lot of impact on the viewers of the presentation. So presentation can also be used for the purpose of image making. Nextly, providing a choice. When the viewers have many options, when the when the people have many options, um, you make a presentation for them to make the best choice that is possible or the best choice available. So you show them clearly, you demonstrate to them the difference between this and this, and ask them to choose something of their choice, something that suits to their taste, something that is good for their convenience. So, to make a choice, you can make a presentation. Suppose the company sells two similar kind of products. So you can present both the products in front of your audience and let the audience choose which one is better for them. So that is called as providing a choice. Persuading. Persuading is a very common word that is frequently used in business, in marketing, where you try to convince your customers, convince the audience, and make them understand what you are trying to say or what you intend to convince them about. So that is called as persuasion. So one of the objectives of presentation is to persuade the audience to see things from your perspective. Updating of information. Updating of information is all about something that you newly want to talk about, you want to update about to the audience about some information that was already there, but adding to the information that already existed, you want to talk about something more, you can update the audience about it. Let's say, for example, you have a new product or you have upgraded the product that was already existing by giving a new offer or by giving some extra discounts or something like that. So that is called as updating of information. Next one is giving good news. Good news is in business or in presentation. How do you give a good? How do you give some good news to the audience? Good news is all about offers, discounts, and something to the benefit of the people who are interested in the presentation. Your audience, there are two people who are involved in a presentation, that is the presenter and the participants of the presentation. So until and unless the participant is interested or is involved in this presentation or is connected with this presentation, the presentation would make no sense to the audience. So, therefore, good news, that is something beneficial to the audience or beneficial to the participant of this presentation, definitely they would be eager to hear about it. Like, for example, the company is launching a new product, and this is going to boost the boost the spirit of the team or boost the morale of many people, many of the employees who are working in the organization. So that could be good news to the employees. Giving bad news, giving bad news could also be made through a presentation. How to give bad news about something? Let's imagine a situation where the sales or the company is not functioning as expected. The company is not making profits as expected. So the company has decided to uh, close down a branch that was established recently because the company is not doing very well. So this news has to be given to its employees. So, a presentation could be made to the employees to make them understand or to give a justification as to why um, this decision was made, or to break the bad news to the group of people, the employees, as to why this decision had to be made through proper presentation of facts and figures. Remember, any presentation involves a lot of facts and figures and statistical data. Simply speaking, out of simply describing things will not make it a good presentation, especially in business. uh, Presenting facts, presenting statistical data is very, very important to make the presentation very authentic. Presentations can also be made for the purpose of amusement or entertainment. Entertaining presentations to involve the audience to be entertained is one of the objective of presentation. Of course, we all know that there are presentations also made for the purpose of inspiration. Many inspirational speakers make presentations with various examples, quoting people from various parts of the world to make the audience inspired about day to day life, or to reach their goals, to achieve their goals, to accomplish something big in life. So these are called as motivating presentations. It could also be done for the purpose of inspiring or motivating the audience. The vital components of a presentation, that is, firstly, know your audience. You should know your audience. A presenter is always expected to know his or her audience. What should you know about the audience? You should know about whom you're talking to, what is the purpose of your presentation, what is the age group of the people that you're talking to, what is the size of audience? Is it going to be 10 people? Is it going to be 50 people? Are you talking to 100 people? Are you presenting to 100 people? So this is something that you should know. That is the basic details, the basic knowledge about your target audience. So, as I told you, the target audience is nothing but the participants of the presentation. You're the presenter, the one who is presenting is called as the presenter. The people or the receivers who are sitting there are called as the target audience. So, you, as the presenter, should know the purpose of your presentation to not to deviate from your topic. You should know the purpose of your presentation. You should know why you are making this presentation, why this presentation is important to your participants, to your target audience. You should be very clear about the purpose of the presentation. If you're not clear about the purpose of the presentation, at some point of time you will lose connect with your audience. You cannot establish that required connection, and the required result cannot be can you cannot get the required result. Like for example, you cannot connect well with your audience, and your purpose of the presentation will be a failure if you deviate from the purpose of your presentation. Next is your objective. You should be SMART, SMART. By SMART here, I mean simple, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Talk about simple things, talk about something that is measurable, talk about something that is achievable, be more realistic, and be more timely. Think about the time that you use. Think about the appropriateness of the time of the presentation, and make your presentation simple. Talk about measurable things, talk about achievable things. Don't talk about something very unrealistic, something that is not attainable. Don't talk about anything that is not attainable. Talk about something more realistic, and always keep a check of time. Is it the appropriate thing to speak? Am I completing my presentation on time? Am I giving timely intervals for the audience to think? Intervals are very important in the process of presentation. You need to give them time. Don't just go on with the presentation. Give a pause, give a few seconds for the audience to think about what you have just presented to them. So make it simple, and the objective of this presentation should always be SMART, as in simple, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. How do you design a presentation? As I always tell you, any kind of speaking requires a lot of preparation. A lot of preparation goes into preparing a presentation as well. So, you are supposed to design your presentation in the following way. Firstly, you're going to mention the name of the presenter or the presenters and the designation of the presenters or the presenter. It matters a lot to mention the name, the designation of whoever is presenting the topic. Then, an introductory slide or an introduction, a brief introduction about the topic of the presentation. Then comes the actual topic, then the subtopics, and then the main content. The main content will go on for a long time. You begin with your topic, you define the topic, you go on to discuss the meaning along with the other sub points of the main topic. There could be different sub points of the main topic. Like, for example, in this presentation, the main topic is the presentation skills. The various other subtopics was the purpose of presentation, or what is presentation, designing a presentation. All these are the subtopics of the main topic called as the presentation skills. So while preparing the PPT, you should keep all these things in mind, that you have to mention in the first slide the name and the designation of the presenter or the presenters, then a brief introduction to the topic, then the topic itself, and then introduce the subtopics of the presentation, and then the main content of the presentation, the definition and the meaning with the other subtopics, then summarize the topic in few slides, then the analysis of the topic, and then the sub points that are mentioned, and with the conclusion, you're going to you're going to summarize quickly in just few sentences the entire presentation. So the conclusion will include a very quick, a brief summary of the entire presentation. Lastly, but not the least, you never forget to thank the audience. Thank the audience for their listening, for their patience in the process of this presentation, and also ask them if they have any questions regarding the presentation. So once the presentation is over, the presenter is supposed to ask the audience, interact with the audience, and ask if the audience have any questions regarding the presentation that was made. Always remember, throughout the presentation, you are always supposed to be connected with your audience by making your presentation more interactive. Interact with your audience, talk to them, ask them questions, make them a group of participative audience rather than a group of passive audience. Do not remain passive. Make them, keep them active by interacting with them throughout the presentation that you make. So, in brief, this is what a presentation should be like. You should design your presentation well, rehearse your presentation well, and then you're supposed to present it to your audience. Here I have put down in this slide a few points that you have to focus during your presentation. Keep a check of your body language. Keep yourself active. Interact. Connect with your audience. And always try to have a positive body language. Show them that you're interested. You're here to make them, um, you're here to present something that is going to be helpful for them. That is called as a positive body language. Voice modulation. Be loud. Look at the size of the room. Look at the number of people who are sitting in the room. Be loud enough so that everybody can hear you speak. Be clear. Your voice, your tone has to be very, very loud and clear. Make your tone pleasing. You should have a pleasing tone. You should be passionate about what you're speaking and avoid reading from the slides. Don't just go on reading from the slides, but explain to them. Always remember, presentation is just there to help you or give you cues about what you're supposed to speak. Presentation is not meant to be read. Presentation is just for the audience to look at it to get cues about what you're talking. You are the main person, the source from where they should be getting all the information. So therefore, avoid speaking from the slide. Maintain professional dress code. Always dress formally when you're going for a presentation, when you're making a presentation. Stand before the audience professionally, dress up professionally, groom yourself well with proper formal dress and appear in front of the audience. Appearance allow yourself to move a bit. You know, you should make a formal appearance. You cannot go to a formal presentation in a very casual way. So dress up formally. Plan, practice, and rehearse. These are the three things that you have to do before you present to your audience. Plan your presentation. Put down all the things that you want to present. Plan and organize well. Organize the presentation well. Practice your presentation. Make a note of the points that you want to talk about. You may not be able to put down all the points on the slides, but make a mention of that in a diary or a sheet where which you are going to have with you in the process while you are presenting to the audience. And also remember, you need to rehearse. However good you are, however uh, great an orator you are, it is always important to plan, practice, and rehearse your presentation. Make a very strong start. Give a very, very strong start, a very effective start to your presentation. The first few minutes of your presentation will determine the results of how effective your presentation is, because the first few moments you have to keep your audience engaged. The first 2 to 4 minutes is where your audience will interact or connect with you immediately if you give your presentation a good start, a strong start. So make your start very, very effective. Show your passion through your movements and gestures. Anybody could make out very easily how passionate we are about the presentation that we make. So, if you are a passive presenter, the audience will automatically not connect with you. So, your movements, your gestures, your body language, your establishment of eye to eye contact, all these things prove how good or how passionate you are about the thing that you're presenting. Make an eye contact, look at your audience, interact with them, establish eye to eye contact with your audience. Even if it is a large crowd, you can definitely establish eye to eye contact, if not with the farther people who are sitting somewhere at the back, but at least with the few people who are sitting right in front of you. You can make eye to eye contact and interact. Don't forget to smile unless your topic is grim. So unless your topic is a very, very serious topic which does not require you to smile, always present yourself with a smile. Go to the stage, go on to the platform with a smile, and that is what helps you connect with the audience better. Throughout the presentation, it is important for the presenter to have that smile, because even the tone that we use reflects the smile that is there in us. So, therefore, always smile when you go to the platform, when you go onto the stage. So, this is about the impression that we make. A first impression is based on 55% body language. When we go onto the stage, people notice our body language first. So 55% of the impression that we make is based on our body language. 38% is the tone of our voice. The tone that we speak makes 38% of influence on the audience. And it is just 7% of the spoken words that we speak that makes an influence on the audience. So what is very, very important is the body language and the tone with which we speak to our audience. Here is a picture that you can see, which gives you the expression of a girl, and you can notice the various expressions of the girl. So here she looks sad, she looks surprised, she looks anxious, she looks serious. There are so many expressions of the girl, but the most pleasing one is the first one where she is smiling. So this shows that a smiling face or a smiling presenter always makes a better impact on the audience. So this is it with today's session. I thank you all very much for your listening.